Body bags where horror lies.
What's up, y'all? Dubbles here again, another week on the body bags. Of course, your Monday host. Got a flick for y'all from 2008. This was released by Dark Sky Films. Actually, I believe it was their first direct-to-video release, kind of produced by Dark Sky itself instead of a retro release. And the movie is Plague Town. This was directed by David Gregory, which if I looked up some of his stuff, I found that pretty interesting. He's directed a long list of documentary shorts and documentary features about quite a few different horror movies. I mean, Don't Look Now to The Beast Within. It's just countless horror movies from the 70s and 80s that he's really done retrospective on. You know, even Chainsaw Massacre, more obscure stuff to more mainstream stuff. So I would like to check out some of his documentary work. And he also directed Theater Bazaar, but I believe this was actually his directorial debut, doing a full feature length, non-documentary. So anyway, the basic plot of this one, you follow an American family who's out to trace their Irish heritage. Yeah, I believe that's where most of it takes place. So the group of family sets out to kind of trace their heritage. They come up on this remote town, and of course it's got some dark shit going on, some just underground creepiness. There's a lot of weird townsfolk, very cultish. Puts you in mind of Village of the Damned mixed with the Wicker Man kind of feel of the whole village. And all the townfolk are talking about Rosemary, who is featured here on the front. She's the main mysterious girl. And also, like Village of the Damned and Children of the Damned, the townsfolk and stuff do everything they do, for the sake of these children. And the children seem to try to be the driving force behind all this. So, you got your typical creepy kid cult thing kind of going on there. Alright, but thoughts on this one? Pretty semi-generic plot as far as that goes. And just the storyline and dialogue, I just found pretty dry and slow for the most part. I try not to look too far into all the plot holes kind of thing, kind of try to just sit back and watch and enjoy. But this movie is played off like a very serious horror film and trying to be a very, frightening experience. Very, like I said, very serious, very little comedy, which is refreshing to not have much comic relief in a horror movie. But even that being said, it doesn't come off very scary. There's a lot of scenes earlier and midpoint of the movie meant to build tension, and I feel like they kind of fell. Creepy kids kind of thing, and I think a lot of it has to do with their masks and a lot of that stuff. They come off very generic, and even some of the makeup for these give too much away. Degenerates, they just look like very generic DIY zombies. I've seen just as good as zombies walking around town on Halloween. And that being said, you turn around and the gore effects in this flick are fucking super spot on, in my opinion. Some great kills in this flick. Mostly practicals from what all I can tell. A good 90% of it anyway. And they're almost all of them are pretty fun and creative in their own way. So I mean, that gave me some brownie points far as the flick goes. But at the end of the day, it still didn't save it from being just kind of a generic, run-of-the-mill flick for me. Now there is some creepier points that they do. I think actually does work. Maybe a little bit later in the flick, there's some isolated incidents in this cabin. I actually build up some of the scares, and I think we're a little more successful in trying to be atmospheric and creepy. Interesting camera work. Soundtrack questionable, a lot of disco, kind of techno stuff going on. It's just, I'm no problem with that kind of soundtrack. It's not my cup of tea per se, but if it works in the context of the flick, I didn't see how that really worked too much with this kind of setting, an isolated, set back in time kind of thing. But be that as may, I would say if you're interested in these kind of cult or just odd movies like that, give it a watch. Nothing special. I'd give it a run-of-the-mill rating. 5.5 out of 10 probably. Like I said, the gore effects were good. I do want to check out more of this director's work, especially just even his documentary work. He's obviously got good taste and stuff. So that's the Dark Sky release of Playtown. See y'all next week. Appreciate y'all watching.